Hi there, Turgeon here, bringing you physics from afar. We did a lab measuring sound, and it begs the question, how do you measure something if you just name this whole phenomenon? Sound is multifaceted, there's a lot happening. So we had to specify, and we had to specify attributes. Attributes are characteristics. Now, wait a second, let's remember whenever you watch a video from any teacher, the whole point of the video is to listen. So please unmute. I am putting a lot of time and effort into trying to help you, and I can only do that if you listen to the video. Attributes are characteristics. So, like for example, we talked in class about, I'm going to measure Mr. Surgeon. Well, what does that mean? You're going to measure the circumference of my head. You're going to measure the frequency of my voice. You're going to measure my weight or height. The attributes of sound, there are two different ones. Each of them has several names, and I gave you a bonus opportunity if you put bonus please underneath one. So one of them is pitch. This one's pitch, and this one is loudness. Pitch comes from the frequency, so you could also write frequency. So you could stack the words pitch and frequency right here. This one you could stack 4 words. One of them is loudness, and there are 3 other ones. If you write bonus, please, I'll give you that. So I gave you a lot of feedback on these. You're basically playing around with how packed together you're making the waves, how close or far away are the waves, and you're playing around with how tall or short are the waves. And you want to exaggerate those differences. Number 4, I went around and begged you, please take pictures, make note. Say you look at those pictures and you can get some information, and you can use the equations that we discussed in class. Go back to your class notes. They were written on the board at one time, but those got erased. I believe they're still written on a 2x2 foot whiteboard that's in the lab area. But you're going to look up the definition of frequency. Show lots of work. Show all of your thoughts, maybe even add some comments there. If you look at the video that is an introduction to sound, which is an official note entry, then you can give me 3 words for what sound is. And we've been over what pitch comes from, so it's what I said above. I think that's enough of a hint. That's all I'm going to give you. And volume comes from the something of the wave. So this is something you can see when you look at the wave. And you also talked about that with your group. But my hint is it's something you can see when you look at the drawings of the waves that you have here. When we get to the answer to number 7 is kind of in the video on sound. I'll leave it at that. The sound practice worksheet. If you look at that sound practice worksheet, the answer number 7 is there. I'm not asking for a bunch of like vertical lines, although those do represent it. I'm asking you to think about what sound is actually made up of, and some of you already started this in class. Energy of a sound wave. Energy of a sound wave, my hint is it's similar to when we were shaking the slinky. And when we shook the slinky with a higher rate of shaking, that didn't give it more energy. That just made more waves every second. When we shook the slinky more vigorously and put more energy into it, you got larger waves. So there's a wave term that refers to something being a larger wave. Okay, you will be submitting this on paper soon. So hope these comments and suggestions help. This has been Turgeon bringing you physics from afar.